Hey everyone, it's Dr. Skodt, and I'm here with a new video inspired by a question that Metal Jesus Rocks got on his Patreon. I know, sounds odd, but listen carefully. Metal Jesus was asked by a patron, what are your 10 most played games on the Switch by hours? And yes, it's a really interesting question, but I don't play my Switch as much as my wife does, or even Metal Jesus does for that matter, so I applied that question to my Atari 2600. Which I have had since the mid-1980s.
But Dr. Skodt, is it possible to know how many hours you put in on the 2600?
That too is a marvelous question from my evil twin Festus, and the answer is yes. There is an app for the 2600 that's much like the software that's built in on the Switch that counts how many hours you put in playing games. Now, I am a Metal Jesus subscriber, and this question really inspired me to check this out on my 2600, and if you think about it, and if you watch my channel, you know that it's a comedy video game channel. I'll do just about anything to get a laugh. We review games and accessories and do everything video game related, and I too bounce around everywhere depending upon what games I'm playing for videos. From the Switch to the 360 to PS4, and even occasionally we go super retro all the way back to the ancient Atari 2600. And just like Metal Jesus was surprised when his #1 Switch game played was, I was stunned by what game I played most, and I think you too will be surprised. You'll be surprised in such a way that there may be rioting in the streets. So let's dive in and check out number 10. Well, number 10 on this list should be no surprise to anybody. I've played this game an awful lot. Yes, it's Atari Pac-Man. You know, it's not the best version of Pac-Man in the world, but when it came out, I sure played the heck out of it. Now, you may have seen some of my videos where I make fun of this game. Is it the best? No. But when it came out, my best friend Greg and I, we played this game for hours and hours and hours on end. And yes, the girl who lived 2 doors down did come over and play this game a lot. It sold 8 million copies, so it must have been popular for a reason. But I'll tell you what, I know I played my share of Atari Pac-Man, and then when Ms. Pac-Man came out, I was like, why the heck did they do this? But yes, I spent one heck of a lot of time playing Atari Pac-Man, and you know, it's number 10 on the list for a reason. Well, surprisingly to even me, number 9 on this list was Ghostbusters for the Atari 2600. You know, I played the Commodore version for the Commodore 64 a lot more than the Atari version because you had that one button and then you had to mess with the console, but you had a keyboard on the Commodore. But you know, the graphics aren't that bad on this version of Ghostbusters for the 2600. I mean, look at this. It's just beautiful. Wait a minute, I don't think this is the 2600 version. You know, I've been a little tired lately, and I don't know why this one's in there. Oh, wow. Talk about some editing mistakes, but, you know, the numbers don't lie. It's on here. I must have played it an awful lot for it to be here.
Scoreboard reads Ghostbusters 2, Gozer the Gozerian 0, looking like a real big leaguer out there, champ.
Number 8, no surprise to me, is Frogger. Yes, the Atari 2600 version of Frogger, you know, it's good. The music isn't that bad. It is actually quite addictive. I did, of course, play it more on the Commodore 64 when I got it because the Commodore version is just beautiful. It's almost exactly like the arcade, in my opinion. But the numbers don't lie. Once again, I played the heck out of Frogger. I got this game for my birthday one year. I might have been like 10 or 11 or something like that. And I begged and begged and begged for this game. And, you know, Frogger, a classic Sega game from the arcade. And then once it finally came to the Atari, every kid wanted it. Of course, I did too. So it's on this list because I played the living heck out of it. Coming in at number 7 is Atari's Warlords. And I played it for 4,811 hours or more according to the app I installed on the Atari. Holy smokes. Now, I do believe this. There were kids in the neighborhood that would come over. We'd hook up 2 sets of paddles, and we would just, you know, play for hours. And my best friend Greg and I used to play. My dad would even play. And occasionally his mom, my grandmother, she'd be like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, well, we're playing Warlords. She'd come to visit. And she's like, well, show me how to do it. And we would actually play Warlords. Yes, my grandmother, she also played Target Fun with me too. About the only 2 games that she would even care about. But what a great arcade game that was put on the Atari 2600, and it wasn't that bad of a translation. So, surprise. Now, number 6, I thought would have come in much, much, much higher on the list, is Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator. You're the Starship Enterprise, and it's kind of like a first-person thing, and you're shooting the Klingons, and you're trying to avoid Nomad. And it was a great game in the arcade. I remember the sit-down version was absolutely fantastic. I loved the sit-down arcade cabinet. But this is not the game. This is excerpts from Star Trek 3. Well, I never destroyed the Enterprise this badly.
My God, what have I done?
Number 5 on this list, I would have thought it would have been higher. 5,399 hours or more. Fantastic Voyage. Now, it's based on the movie from the 60s, which I never saw. And I've heard it's actually a pretty decent film. But the premise of the game, you go into the body after your little ship has been shrunken, and then you get injected in, and you got to save some patient. They've got, I don't know, herpes simplex 10 or something, or, they've got an eye infection. I don't know, whatever they've got, allergic conjunctivitis, constipation, whatever. You try to unplug them without, hitting the walls too many times and killing your patient. I can get to about 3 patients, and that's it, because it gets faster and faster and faster. And I'll tell you what, it's a really, really fun game. It's kind of like River Raid inside somebody's body. Think of it that way. So if you've never played Fantastic Voyage, I suggest grabbing it, and maybe you'll play it as much as I did. Number 4 is Enduro by Activision. My favorite racing game on the Atari 2600. I didn't care for pole position. Sorry, Jay Malone of Square Pegs. I know you said you loved that game, and, hey, that's what makes the gaming community great, because we all like different things, and sometimes we like the same thing. But I didn't care for pole position because it didn't look as good as the arcade, and Enduro was never in the arcade. Plus, it gave you all this variety of fog and snow and daytime and nighttime, and it was just a fantastic game. And you would have dry eyes by the time you got done playing. I'd be like, okay, I'm in my 3rd day, and my mom's yelling at me to come and have some dinner, and I'm going, I'll be there in a minute. And it's like, I'm going to throw this away if you don't. Okay, I'll be right there. But anyway, I paid $32 for this game at Sears at the Elyria Midway Mall, and that's Elyria, Ohio, and I must have mowed like 900 lawns to do that. So I still have my original copy today, and I know I played the heck out of this. Number 3, according to the app, is Asteroids. 10,516 hours or more. I believe it. Yes, I have played this by myself. I've played it with friends. I've played it when I was crying in a drink. I've played it when I was on an airplane. I've played it everywhere. This is the best version, in my opinion, of Asteroids. Why? Because it's the one that I have the most nostalgia for. That's the best version for me. There's other versions out there, like the arcade versions, and even there's somebody who programs Space Rocks, which I do love, which is a homebrew that Atari Age has. But I'll tell you what, I keep gravitating back to the original Asteroids, and it was cheap back in the day, and you can probably find it for 50 cents at a garage sale or someplace now. I think they're actually handing them out in boxes of cornflakes right now. If you are an Atari enthusiast, you definitely have this game in your collection, and you've probably played the living heck out of it. So yeah, I believe that I played it every bit as much as it's said in the last 40 years. Well, number 2 is finally here, and it is Sequest. Yes, Roy Scheider's Sequest. Can you believe that is on this list? This is actually my favorite Atari game, and I'm surprised it's actually not higher up on the list than it really is. Oh, wow, guys, I'm just telling you, I'm getting a little bit tired here. I better hurry this video up, because I'm getting really, really pooped. But as you can see, I was on my quest in the sea here for 50,000 points, and I was pretty darn close to 80,000 points. This is a video I did a while back, actually footage from that. And, I never did get my patch from Activision, so I'm going to have to bug them about that. Hey, where's my patch? I sent in that picture. I want my patch. But this is my absolute favorite game for the Atari, and I'm surprised that it's not number one. I wonder what number one is. I already know. I already edited this video together. So we're going to find out here in just a minute. Well, here we are. It's number one, and it's Atari 2600's Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Yes. I love this game. My wife loves this game, and we have played this game. You saw how many hours was there. Like, it was just a ridiculous amount. If you add it up, it's like 4.5 years in a row. So that's a lot of hours. And this Atari 2600 version is gorgeous. I mean, come on, look at the graphics here. It's absolutely amazing. And can you believe that they were actually able to get co-op on this? Split-screen co-op on the Atari frickin' 2600. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The most advanced game that they ever made. Now, I believe that this was Ubisoft's first game, and they did it for the Atari 2600. So, you know, Ubisoft's not so great right now. I mean, you know, they have a little bit of internal trouble, but, you know, I believe in those guys. They're going to bounce back. And I would love to see, like, another Vegas, like if they did, like, an HD remake of Vegas, get it off the Atari 2600, and, you know, bring it onto modern systems, onto the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5 and even the Switch. That'd be great. But you can't beat this game on the Atari 2600. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And you can see how sadistic I am here. You know, guys are coming down and, you know, I'm just throwing C4 and blowing them, you know, right straight to their maker. And, I do believe that I played this one more than Sequest now because, you know, I did love Sequest, but this game is so complicated. And when you're doing Terrorist Hunt and even the campaign, and then when we went online on the Atari 2600 and played this online, there were still people playing this game after it had been out for years and years and years. They just shut the servers down here, I don't know, about a year ago, maybe two. So, you know, the servers were up for like 40 some odd years. So, you know, hats off to Ubisoft. And I love this, absolutely love this game for the Atari 2600. Best version.
It's not an Atari game, Daddy. Sorry, guys, she's dressed up. Come on, Daddy, you need a nap.
I'm okay, really. I'm all right.
See you soon.
Thank you for subscribing to Game Closet. It's absolutely free, and you can help us get to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. Hit the like button so YouTube will share our videos to more and more cool people just like you. We will see you very, very soon.